So there you go. So all of the resources that I referenced today, and a link today, and the slides from today, and the video from today are all going into this folder. So if there's something you think, oh, I wish I'd been to that in September, or I'd really like to know more about the philosophy lens, just go to this folder and you should be able to find that in there. If it's not there yet, it's being in production, but email me and ask for something. Yeah, yesterday people were asking about assessment in RE, and we haven't yet produced some resources to support assessment in RE in the new syllabus, so we can now do that. Okay, so please ask for it. This is the form which I mentioned earlier, that if you fill in, I can provide more support for you. Please do that. So we're into inquiry now. So I just want to walk you through a couple of bits with regards to inquiry, and then I'm going to ask you to send you away, pop you in some breakout rooms to go and spend some time thinking and looking and talking to each other and helping each other out and forming links, because that's what makes this really strong. And then we'll regroup to talk through, where that's taken you. So what is a community of inquiry? Now, Sophie, you said that you've been doing inquiry learning for the last 10 years, and Nicola, you're in the same school. Would you be able to tell us, from your perspective, what's it all about? What's a community of inquiry? What have you been trying to build through that approach? Nicola or Sophie, would you be able to tell us a little bit? Sophie, fantastic.
Oh, sorry, I was waiting whether Nicola or me was going to speak first. Right. Nicola, do you want to go?
Well, my view might be slightly different to yours, because I've not been at the school that long, really. But my understanding of a community of inquiry comes from people like Robert Fisher. So I've done training in the past on how Robert Fisher uses stories, for example, to develop this inquiry, how he uses Socratic questioning to deepen children's questioning skills and thinking skills. So yeah, basically my understanding is it's a group working together through that type of Socratic questioning, where we might start off with a factual question, which is quite a simple question to answer, but we move through the analytic questioning, so we're looking at why things are as they are, and eventually arriving at the deeper philosophical questions.
Brilliant. That's a really lovely explanation, Nicola. Thank you. Sophie, do you want to add anything to that?
No, it's kind of how we've been doing it for a while now. I've been at the school 15 years. So 10 years ago, we switched from teaching Judaism, Christianity, that kind of stuff, to putting a question at the beginning and over a series of lessons, gradually teaching to an assessment in that question. So, for example, our very first one was, should Rahima go on Hajj? And we had this idea of Rahima, this lady, what's the reasoning behind why she should go, shouldn't go. And every lesson would essentially develop, as kind of Nicola pointed out, this development of an inquiry, culminating in a question at the end. And it's worked really well. I mean, we've loved teaching in this style for 10 years. Before that, it was very dry and very dull. So it does engage the pupils, so I quite like it.
Thanks, that's really lovely. That's really good to hear. So, Sophie, what school are you from?
We're at Fitzwymark.
Oh, Fitz, brilliant. Okay.
And you might have somebody else joining us soon who you know, Mary.
Oh, Mary, you say? Brilliant. That is great. Okay, fantastic. So I might have to plan in a visit to come and see you guys. Great. Okay, so this idea of, and what's really interesting is that everything you said, right, could easily have I didn't guess you were talking from a secondary perspective. So this applies to anyone in any year group, right? Now, this idea of the big question, this was a shift a few years ago. This was based on, some of this was based on the work of Fiona Moss, who is a part of NatRe and a big hitter in the RE world. And that's having a big question to unpack. And I've taught that should Rahima go on Hajj lesson myself, all that sequence of lessons in the past. Now, you talked about Socratic questioning. So, questioning in a manner that isn't trying to force your viewpoint on others. We talked about the use of story, which is very much at the core of, or potentially at the core of an inquiry focus, because it helps us to really develop empathy. And I think it takes us into philosophy for children territory, Mantle of the Expert, Sue Phillips, Theatre of Learning, all that experiential stuff. So inquiring, wonderful. Okay, so what I wanted to show you here then is an extract from the new syllabus. Now, everything I've got here, I link again and again and again to the syllabus itself, and I keep on telling you page numbers because it's useful to know that. So you can find that information on this slide here. And so this is what a plan for a year of teaching RE might look like. And in this case, I've got year 4, 5, and 6, upper key stage 2. So what we've got here is we've got a mixture of questions, and the color coding is here. The theological lens is being covered in the orangey or pinky color, the blue, the philosophy, and then the green from a human and social sciences perspective. So as you can see, and as it should be, RE develops over a period of years in your school setting. So when you're planning, you're not just planning for your year, you're planning for the development over a series of years. And that's where you can see you've got this balance coming on here. Now, we haven't got every religion present here because you can't cover everything. Now, if we were to see years 1, 2, and 3, I reckon there we might see Sikhism because we would have thought we want to cover everything by the time the children leave. That creates problems, of course, if you've only got key stage 3, or if you are an infant school who isn't communicating with the juniors, you know. But we do the best that we can. And the way that we do that is by thinking about the demographic of our students, of course. What is it that is going to be most relevant to them? What do they, you know, what's going to work? Now, in order to select these, this is a sample one from the new agreed syllabus. You would build your own using the questions. On this next slide, I've just shown you where those questions come from. So in this case, on pages 19 to 22 of the syllabus, and again, you can link to the syllabus there so you can see it yourself. Here you can see that you can select from the questions here to choose those that are going to best fit your context. So we see this, where do religious beliefs come from? They've chosen for lower key stage 2. And if we just go back, we can see where do religious beliefs come from at lower key stage 2. And so upper key stage 2, how do whatever, you choose the religion, explain the suffering in the world. We skip across here, and there we can see it, how do explain suffering in the world. So you're selecting the questions to build that inquiry. Now, each of these would be, the suggestion is that there are five half terms of inquiries. So they're giving a bit of slack there, and each one would comprise 5 lessons. And there's a stage. Now, it could be 6 lessons. You might be able to get it into 4. I mean, but we would aim for. I think that you'd be hard pressed. So I think we're looking at 5 lessons to develop each of these questions. So what does that look like? Oh, here's just a snippet, by the way, of here's all the questions together for key stage 1, and so you could make that selection there. And if you'd have a look through the syllabus, maybe that's what you want to do in a minute, to have a look through the syllabus and see where that is. But this is an example of the 5 lessons, and so this is a planning template. This is for a year 3 lesson, a year 3 series of lessons. The question: what is philosophy? How do people make moral decisions? So they've selected this question as the one they would like to develop, and they want to look at it from, so it's a philosophical question, and they want to look at it from a Christianity and humanist perspective. So that's bringing in worldviews, it's bringing in religion as well, but they're taking a philosophical question as what's the driving force. It doesn't mean you're not going to talk about religion, it doesn't mean you're not going to talk about social sciences, but it means that philosophy is the driving force. How do people make moral decisions? So the suggestion is that you then unpack this over a series of 5 lessons, and those 5 lessons have these words as the kind of the one-word summary for what's happening. You're engaging, inquiring, exploring, evaluating, and expressing. So can I just give everybody 5 minutes to have a look at, you can click on my link from the slides here, which will take you to the file itself, if this is looking a bit small on your screen, and you'll be able to access that there. Or if you click on this link here, it will take you to where it's come from. And where it's come from is the Norfolk agreed syllabus site, because they are 3 years ahead of us. Now, that is great because we will be able to borrow lots of their resources, as well as developing others for ourselves. So that's where we're at the moment. And on this, on this next page, in fact, maybe I'll do that and then just give you a bit of time to explore. So on this next page, it just states what those stages are: the engage, inquire, explore, evaluate, express. And So there you can see them: engage, inquire, explore, evaluate, express. Norfolk have developed lots of these exemplars to support you, and we're going to develop some more. And I just wanted to point you towards, because I think this is a great, I think probably I'll just show you these last couple of slides, and then I'm going to send you off to do some exploring, and then we'll regroup. So on this next slide is just a walkthrough of where do I find these things in the syllabus? If I'm trying to design a balanced curriculum, like we saw over here, how do I do it? Well, page 18 gives you this, and then I've just given you the page numbers you'd go to do these things, so you can have a look at that. If your priority is looking at subject knowledge, then you might like to come over here and think about this as being your stages, starting with BBC Bitesize, whether it's Key Stage 1, 2, or 3, or 4, and then moving on to RE Online and taking a look at TrueTube. TrueTube are an award-winning website that have fabulous resources for Key Stage 1 through to Key Stage 5, and they really do reflect what's going on in the world around us. If you get over there now, you will see things, that resources, videos that are mirroring what's going on. Their lesson plans are very good. Okay, so now what I want to do is give you some time to look through the resources, and this is just a screenshot from the Norfolk syllabus that shows you this Year 3 inquiry. That's what you would click on to find your way to this overview, but you could also click on either of these two links. So I'm just going to stop sharing, and I'm going to pop people into breakout rooms to discuss further. So firstly, Key Stage. Now, from Key Stage, from secondary, we have just got Nicola and Sophie, haven't we? And actually, we've lost Nicola. So, so it would just be Sophie. Okay, so in that case, I'm just going to go with just pop you into 2 rooms. It just makes the conversation a little bit smaller, and I'll pop over and see you, and you know, and see what's going on there, and to give you a little bit of time to explore any of the resources which I've linked in my slides, which I've just put onto the chat again now. Has anyone got any questions before I pop you into 2 rooms? Okay, great. All right, here they come then. And that's just about 5 people in each room. Just gives a chance for a slightly smaller chat and to support each other, find out how things are going. If you've got any burning questions, just hang on for a minute. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's so lovely being part of your conversations and hearing you one another out, and and we're kind of realizing we're all in the same boat, of course. And that's but that support is there, So my colleague Ruth and I are looking to do a lot of sharing good practice this year. So one of the things that we're doing is asking schools who would be prepared to let us in to come and visit with you and to share some good stuff you're doing, particularly around the new syllabus, but more broadly as well. So I'm just going to put into the chat the link to, and I know you can get it from my slides, the link to that form. So I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is just kind of point you towards some stuff over this next few minutes. And so if you can open up that link, if you're able to fill in that form, then I can provide more support for you and come visit. We've also talked about the RE quality mark. Have any of your schools got the RE quality mark? There's a set of criteria.
I looked into it, didn't do it, but I looked into it about 5 years ago and realised there's so much work for one person to do.
So what we're trying to do, for SACRE are quite keen to see if we can support some schools through that. So if you're interested, then have another look at it and see if it's changed, see if the situation's the same, Sophie. But if you would like to kind of team up and have a look at that, then do that, and you'll find the link to that from the form there. Can I ask everybody if you can open that form now, so it's sitting there, so so you're able to do it before you leave today? That would be amazing. The next link I want to put in the chat, and I want to make sure everyone can open it. Can you open up the link I've just put in there now to a Google Drive, and that will show you all of the resources that we've been developing since June last year. And things will start to emerge. On Friday, I'm meeting with some Jewish representatives who are going to do some walkthroughs of the Judaism content. So I know that's one of the things that schools have been looking for is, some of the philosophical questions, even some of the theological questions. If you don't know what it is, or you don't know where to look, that's problematic. So they're responsible. It's called the Jewish. It's a Jewish lived experience exhibition. Those guys are going to walk me through it, so that should be helpful. So I've just put that in the link in the chat again, Alice. That's the Google Drive link. The form link you should find just above that. So has everyone been able to open that okay? Does that? No? Nicola, you can't. Alex, you can. Yes, thank you. Lovely. Okay, right. So Nicola, just keep on trying. I'll troubleshoot it with you if there's a problem. Okay. The next thing I just wanted to point you towards was, in case you haven't yet opened it, again, here is the link to the Norfolk resources that they've developed. And I'm just going to share my screen. Great. So yeah, lovely. So that is the, if you haven't already looked at it, this is the stuff that Norfolk developed and they shared broadly. Over there is the top of this is their planning stuff. These are their knowledge organizer tables, because obviously it's useful. You've got to think about your core knowledge before you can, really get into this. So this was their knowledge organizer tables. Here are all a set of inquiries that you can look at that they did with, so you can see 5 per year. So they've gone through it all, and then beneath that they've shared their exemplification planning, the example of which I showed you earlier, and then they've resourced it all fully as well. So take some time to have a look at that, because that could really help you out. Whatever year group you're doing, there's going to be some things there that could be useful for you.
Can I ask how similar that is to?
Of course, what a good question. Okay, so almost identical. I had just assumed you knew, of course. So the Norfolk agreed syllabus, Essex borrowed the Norfolk. Okay, so that's common practice to share agreed syllabuses across different counties or boroughs. And then what they do is they make some adaptations. So in the Norfolk, you'll see that they have big 6 religions plus humanism. The Essex, it's shifted to worldview. So that's the change in a nutshell. There's some other subtle bits and bobs, but nothing major. So you'll find the questions are the same. It will look extremely similar. That's why we can borrow all the stuff across. So the next thing I wanted to show you and give you a quick walkthrough of is TrueTube. So I'm just going to screen share, and just so you have seen this, so you know where to look if you haven't been over there before. So yes, RE Online is the place to go, right? But for classy videos, get yourself over to TrueTube. It's a free membership, if you like, so you need to log in order to access all of their lesson plans. But you know, that's just a free sign up, and you can see, look, it's so they've got Diwali, because that's what's happening at the moment, and it will go through. It has some good stuff for PSHE and citizenship and assemblies as well, British values here, but of course, you know, everyone's thinking about that this week because of the march that's going to happen on Armistice Day. And yeah, look, there we go, Memories Day. So this is really, really good. These are lovely openers here. I highly recommend you go and have a good nose around TrueTube. And when you get over to these things, you'll find that each one of them will come with a great video, and then you have to log in to download the files, but you'll find all of the lesson plans and resources to print and everything. It's all there. It's really good. Won lots of awards. They're great. Get yourself over to TrueTube. But as I said before, BBC Bitesize and RE Online are really good knowledge builder areas as well. Okay. So as we approach the end, is there anything that you're looking for that we haven't started to talk about today, that you haven't got a next step? Is there anyone that's still got a burning question that they feel hasn't been addressed yet? Okie dokie. So what are your next steps then? Alex, what are we going to be doing next from your perspective?
I'm already doing it, and I'm diving right into that Norfolk resources, and that's what I needed. That was the bit I was missing, and those documents, I can match those against the inquiry questions, and it gives us an avenue, because we were basically taking the inquiry question blind and sort of not really knowing what direction. So that's pretty much given us the key, really, is those documents. So thank you, and yeah, I'll just be poring over all these resources you've just shared, so thank you for that.
No problem at all. That's really helpful. And don't forget there's another 6 meetings this year, which you can send people along to, or, you know, some are repetition. 3 of them are repeats. This is one of those ones. So there's two more repeats to come. Janine, what are you going to do next?
My all of them.
Brilliant. Janine, what are your next steps?
Yeah, I'm also going to look at the Norfolk scheme and see how that can supplement us with the Saffron Walden one, really.
Lovely. Yeah, you should find that there'll be plenty there. I mean, all of the inquiries that have been worked through, the exemplars, that'll be hit and miss whether the exemplars are matched perfectly to what you're doing, but you'll probably find the other inquiries might do more chance there. Nicola,
From what I've just looked at, they do seem quite similar, so I think it
brilliant.
will.
We've got a starting point. That's what this year is, isn't it? It's getting ourselves into better shape. All right, Nicola, how about for you? What's your next step? Oh, you're muted. Oh, you're still muted. Not to worry. Put it in the chat for us.
Sorry, there you go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Oh, now you've turned yourself off.
Saffron Walden. I think it's my computer.
Okay.
I'm going to have a look at the Saffron Walden exemplar materials and also the Diocese of Norwich stuff.
Yes. So the Saffron Walden exemplars are, of course, they go with the SAT scheme, and you'll be able to see their process, and there's definitely good stuff that you can make a decision as to whether that's what you wanted to buy into, or whether you want to pinch their process and their templates, and whether that works for you. And I think, just trialing like a run of their materials would give you a sense as to whether, how the inquiry process is going to look for you, making sure that you're cross-referencing with the agreed syllabus. How about Miss Shimmin? What's your next step?
I think I'm going to explore this TrueTube. I've never looked at videos on there, so I think that's my next place, is to look at some of the things we're linking to and where I can find some good resources on there to help.
Yeah, you'll find it's not as comprehensive as RE Online, but it's very, very good at what it does. It's glossy, it's shiny, and it feels high quality and contemporary. So yeah, I'd get into that. How about Alice? What about for you? What's your next step?
I'm just going to really start looking at the inquiry questions, making sure that there's even lenses throughout them, because I think that we're quite knowledge based at the moment still, rather than sort of looking at it more from a philosophical point of view. So I think we're going to try and get the whole school approach going more evenly with the lenses.
Brilliant. And yeah, I mean, once you get, because the knowledge focus, to be literate in in all of the faiths and worldviews is it's really important. But that's like step one to getting onto the good stuff, isn't it? Once you've got some good basic, and you do need that knowledge. You can't accelerate straight into asking deep philosophical questions about something if you don't know what something is. So it is a necessary step, but it's you're looking to push beyond would be great. Okay, Sophie, what about for you? What's your next step?
I think it's the lenses for me.
Yeah,
I feel really confident with the inquiry stuff. Obviously, we've got to hone it and adapt it and and improve it. But I think that's where we need to look at lenses and how we put in social sciences, philosophy, theology, not so it's restrictive, but so they work together within these inquiry schemes.
great. So if you go over to the Google Drive folder that I shared, you'll find a recording of me and Simon Oldfield, who is on Sacre at Norfolk, and he's a secondary teacher. But we walked through the philosophy lens together and kind of really pulled it all apart. And so that might be really useful for you, because that was the one that people were finding most difficult. But there was some training last year on the theology and the social sciences, but the recording got corrupted. So if there was a call for it, just drop me an email and I'll ask Sacre if they can get us to do another one of that, if that's useful for you.
Yeah, possibly. We did the original Essex Creed syllabus training. I can't remember, a while back now. So did all that and did the different lenses, but it didn't feel like it was giving you much information. It was just like, this is what it is, not really how to implement it.
Right. Okay, great. So yeah, I think it's very difficult to do everything all at once, but anything you want, ask for it, and I can find a way to try and make it happen for you. Wonderful. And C Malian, I still don't know your name, but if you want to post in the chat thank you very much. That's what we're after. Looking at the Norfolk syllabus. That's brilliant. That's really useful. Thank you so much. And I'm glad to hear that your students are enjoying it as well, that you posted earlier. Okay, great. So let's finish with a couple of minutes to spare, unless anyone has any questions or would like any guidance or anything. It would be so helpful if you would fill out that form that I linked into the chat. To tell me, so I can note that who was here, because it will pop up for me, but then I can offer you any further support. So if you could fill that out for me, that would be amazing. And don't forget to get over to RE Online for knowledge building. I haven't walked through that, but RE Online. It's RE done by RE teachers for RE teachers. It's very, very good. That's where you go to build your knowledge. Absolutely, probably after BBC Bitesize or at the same time. Okay. Was that link again for RE Online? Yeah, sure, I'll put that in the chat. But for anyone else who's had their questions answered and has what they need, then have a wonderful evening. Thanks so much for coming along, and I hope to see you at another one in the near future. Have a great evening. I'll stick around for any questions.